Hey everybody, it's Landa. Today I'm going to paint this little orange using both watercolor and gouache. I have done a couple of little practice paintings, so I'm going to work on a big one. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my orange out very lightly. This is watercolor paper, and I am using one of my favorite pencils, which is this Blackwing. They're so soft and have the coolest eraser, and yeah, they're just my favorite. So I'm going to draw this out and draw a nice little leaf. And maybe there's another one kind of sticking out. There we go. That should be cute. Okay, once you have the orange done, I had a couple ideas of maybe adding some slivers to it too, some slices. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Well, I kind of like it. Maybe we'll do it just for fun. So let's do one kind of facing outward. And the orange slice is just a half circle. And then after you do the half circle, you can just draw a triangle. And then that just breaks up that space. And then do the same thing on the other side. You could just, if you're not just watching and you want to learn how to paint this, orange slices or lemon slices, that's all you do. So half circle, almost like a watermelon, draw that watermelon out and then just draw a triangle. And then that breaks up the space into 3 different triangles. And my orange was an oval. So I first kind of very lightly drew the oval. I left a spot for the stem. Then I drew the leaf, this leaf, and then the next leaf. Okay, so this orange is inspired by the French Riviera. I feel like I see a lot of chairs and umbrellas that have these striped patterns, and so that's the idea. We're using complementary colors to really make that orange pop, because the complementary color to blue, or to blue is orange and orange is blue. So we're going to put blue stripes behind our orange. So I'm going to just very lightly create some stripes after I tape the edge of my paper, because I think I want a crisp edge. Great. Now what we can do, you can either use a ruler or just a straight sheet of paper. I think I'll just do this. I'm going to plop some lines in, or I could freehand it. Honestly, freehanding might be better, then I'm not going to have to worry about those very specific lines. I'm just doing these little jagged bits here. And the key when you do stripes, you never want to end or start your stripe at the edge of the object, so especially if it's in the background. Almost done. There we go. Oh, maybe I'll make a little one. It's always hard to say. There. It's basically the same width. All right, so I have my drawing, I have my watercolors, I also have gouache. I'm gonna use the gouache for the background, I think, and then also for the leaf. But then for the orange itself, I'm gonna use watercolor because I think it's gonna look really bright. Sometimes with gouache, which is also a water-based paint, it gets really flat looking. So that's why sometimes you might wanna use gouache or watercolor over gouache if you don't want that flat kind of matte look, or vice versa. If you're looking for a matte look, then I would totally use gouache. So I have 2 different brushes because there's more chalk in your gouache. It can kind of get stuck in the bristles down here, and I wouldn't say ruin your brush, but it'll definitely damage it faster than watercolor paint. So I am going to use 2 different brushes. You don't have to though. So a watercolor brush works just fine. And actually this is just a cheap watercolor brush. So that's what I'm using for gouache. I'm going to do wet into wet for the orange, I think. It's going to look nice. I'm going to use orange, I'm going to use red, and maybe a pop of yellow. I always will start with the edge in the darkest area to add my paint. Whenever I'm doing wet to wet, I'll start in the darkest area first. And honestly, just as a rule of thumb, because you can always, you know, if it needs to be darker, then you've got that. If it needs to be lighter, then, and you plop the paint in the lighter area and you don't know how concentrated your paint is on your brush, then you kind of have a problem. Okay. This is gonna be cute. And the other tip I have is when you're doing wet into wet, I'll stop short. This is why I have a crisp edge right here, is I stopped short of that, and that's why it's not really bleeding actually at all in that area. Okay, I'm gonna leave that and drop in a little cadmium red. I just used cadmium orange, and I'm gonna pop this in, just kind of making up some of the shadows and highlights. And I'm using tube watercolor paint. I prefer that, but I use both. But when I'm at home and I have a place to sit, I'll use my tube paint. And if I'm painting outdoors or travel, you know, I'm bringing my stuff with me when I'm traveling, then I'll use pan paints, because then you don't have to worry if the tube gets crushed. All right, that looks cute. I'm gonna leave that little highlight right there. Now that the orange is done, I'm gonna leave that and I'm gonna work on these slices, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna kind of make this up. I'm gonna paint the whole entire thing with my dirty brush. I'm gonna drop in a little orange, and let's start at the peel. I'm just gonna let it blend in. I'm gonna add a little bit of cadmium red to deepen that. And then I'll just do a little bit like this. Cute. Now I'm going quickly because I think that sometimes it's hard to be patient when you're watching a video and you want to learn the whole entire thing really quickly, but you don't want to watch that paint dry, or you just want to get the facts, you know, you want to get to that the quickest. But I recommend taking your time with this. You do not have to paint this fast. Now I'm going to do the same thing. So you see how I'm just repeating the process. So I started out with my lighter color, then I added my darker color. And I always started in the darkest area first before letting it kind of bleed into the rest of it. Okay. I'm really tempted to intensify some of the shadows in this because I really love high contrasts. So it's, yeah, it's very hard for me to kind of hold back. I don't need to, but sometimes it's good to let your painting sit so you can see what you really need. Okay, and I'm gonna mix up a darker orange. So I'm starting with my orange, and then I slowly add the color to mix, that I'm mixing in to change it. And it's always light color first, then your dark color when you're mixing paint on your tray. It's easy to make a color darker. It's hard to make your color lighter. So you'll just end up wasting a lot of paint if you do it the other way around. There, I'm gonna add some of these little lines on my orange, maybe a bit of an outline. And now you can tell I'm using a little bit less water to create these details. I don't want it to spread, and I don't want it to mess up what I have on the paper. So now that my big orange, not my orange slices, but my big orange is done, I'm just gonna add a few more details. And I kind of want some little speckles or spots. So I think I'm gonna kind of want to mess my brush up so I can get some really light spots there. I'm actually gonna use my finger. That's gonna be better. There, that's good. I'm gonna put a little paint there and just kind of dab it all over. And now I don't have as much paint in my brush. I'm gonna do that. I'm avoiding that highlight area until I've used up a lot of paint in my brush. And if it gets pretty light, then I'll go and I'll add a couple light ones, or I can just kind of use my paint up on my paper. There. And now let's intensify some of these shadows over here that I added. So cute. And my lines inside these slices are parallel to the triangle slice right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little bit, it's mimicking that same shape. So it's following the form. Okay, so now that my orange is done, I'm gonna let that dry totally. And now I'm gonna move on to my gouache. I might paint the stem with my watercolor, but I definitely wanna do, I really like how these leaves turned out with my gouache. So I'm gonna do the leaves in gouache and then my stripes in gouache. So stick around, I'll be right back. I just painted the stem using my burnt umber with my watercolor, and now I'm gonna move on to gouache. Now you typically, if you're gonna use both types of paint, always do your watercolor first, because you can't add, I mean, you can add really dark watercolor on top of gouache, but gouache is opaque, which means that you can't see through it. So you have to use your transparent layers first and then layer up. So that's what I did here. So I'm gonna use my gouache for my leaves. So I'm gonna start with my darker color, which is so cool. This is the best part about gouache, is you do not have to go light to dark like you would watercolor. So you can go dark to light, light to dark, any, you know, any which way is fine. Look at how amazing that color is. Love it. Now this is pretty thin. This is thin gouache. So you could use it like you would watercolor if you thinned it out and had it really watery. But the cool part about gouache is, like, look at that. It's so, those edges are so sharp, super opaque. So you just are getting a different outcome than you would with watercolor. But I love both. I mean, they're just so fun. Look at that. That has a very watercolor like look when you water it down. Oh, so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I might add a little bit more. You can layer up with gouache, but the thing with gouache, just like watercolor, is that it is a water-based paint, which means that when you add, you know, any kind of moisture to the surface, it reactivates the paint, just like watercolor. So you can't fiddle too much. You can't, you know, if you definitely can overwork it, and then all of a sudden you're lifting the paint just like you would with watercolor. So I'm gonna leave that. Now, the paints that I'm using today are Arteza. These are great, super affordable. They look good. I think this is a good brand if you're trying it out. And let's see, I think I'm using this Viridian for my green, and I'll show you what it looks like while that's drying. So, oh, it's a tube paint, and just like watercolor, it dries out and it'll get really hard. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit trickier to activate it after it's dried out, but you still can, you can continuously use it as much as you want. And the other thing is that some colors, unlike watercolor, where when it dries light, gouache can sometimes dry lighter. So darker colors tend to dry lighter, and lighter colors tend to dry darker, the way that they look. So like a light yellow, when you paint it, is gonna look really bright with gouache, but once it's dry, it's actually gonna look a little bit duller or darker. Okay, this is almost ready. I wanna find my sap green. Where did I put it? Pale green, that's not it. I got a lot of greens. There's sage, maybe that's it. I'll add a little yellow to it, you can see. So, there we go. Ooh, that's not it. It's pretty though. So I'm going to use a lighter green on top of this first layer of my Viridian so that I can create the highlights right here. I think that's going to look really pretty. So I'm going to mix this up. You always want to add just a touch of water to fresh tube gouache just so that it flows. And you can, you don't want it to be super sticky. Now let's paint this. Ooh, love that. Look at that. Super opaque. You can't really see through it. I probably didn't wait long enough for this to dry because you can start to see streaks under there. If I waited a little bit longer, then it would be even more opaque. Okay, I think I might change my mind with this and only do one side of the leaf because it looks so pretty. Ooh, love that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it for now. I might not do the double like I did before, where I did light on both sides. We'll see. And now I'm gonna use a watered down gouache. And I'm going to do my stripes. So I'm using this super bright kind of turquoisey color. Oh, love it. So you can see these, watercolor and gouache are total pals. They are really fun to paint together. And they work really similarly. The only difference is that with gouache, you're going to get a much flatter, matte look. And you can't really have delicate, rich, blended layers like you would with watercolor. If you're building up, like, look at that. You can't get that same kind of texture when you're painting with gouache. It's also nice because you don't really get as many backgrounds too with gouache. Kind of wish I would have started with the blue, but that's okay. I might create a little sliver on one side so you can see it. We're just going to speed up the stripes portion of this because I'm just repeating the same process over and over again. That's going to look good. And I just realized I might have been using my watercolor brush for the gouache the whole time. If that happens to you, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, this side's dry. Now for the grand reveal, let's do it. Ooh, that looks so good. Look at how fast that dried. Nice. Definitely prefer the edges. There you go. I hope you try this. Let me know if you take a little run at it and comment below if you want to see more just like this. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye.